Good morning, everyone. Today, for your double lesson, we are going to be looking again at your narrative writing. Today's essential question is how can words paint a picture in our minds? And our learning objective is to write a paragraph using sensory language and incorporating tone. So, in your interactive notebooks, you need to make sure that you are making notes about the important elements of our videos and PowerPoint. So, you need to make note of the notes on the screen right now. So you have what is imagery and what is sensory language. Imagery is the image that descriptive writing paints in our minds, okay? So the sensory language helps create the image. And then the sensory language, obviously, is what engages our senses. We discussed this yesterday in our lesson. So before we get started on our important task today, what I want you to do is I want you to just refresh your memory and play a quick game or two on the link that I have added to your Google Classroom there in task 1. It is just a quick game where you compare adjectives to one another and you link ones that are quite similar, just to get your brain ready to work on your task that you will be graded on during the week. So task 2 is where you need to write a paragraph about your favorite restaurant. You're going to have 2 days or 2 lessons to complete, 2 days of lessons to complete this task. What you need to do is you need to write a paragraph about your favorite restaurant using sensory language and imagery. Don't get too concerned about that sentence there. Basically, all you need to do is make sure you are using the senses and describing things that will activate the senses, and that will create your imagery. So it's basically only one thing you're doing, one thing leads to the other. It must be at least 20 sentences long, okay? And that is not short sentences. If it is too short, you will be penalized in terms of marks. So just make sure you are describing your experience at your favorite restaurant and you're using your 5 senses: touch, taste, smell, what you can see, and what you can smell. So just so that you're not too confused, I've used an example from grade 11 just to give you some insight as to what you're expected to do. So here you have, my favorite restaurant is Cheesecake Factory. 3 weeks ago, my sister and I went to eat there. The place was calm with dimmed lights. When we entered, we were greeted by the waiter. He guided us to our seats or our reserved table. As I walked in, I could smell a mixture of foods, and I could hear the spoons, the forks, and knives clinking. We sat, and the waiter handed us the menus. We started analyzing our menus. Eventually, the waiter came back, and she took our order. I ordered my all-time favorite, Factory Burrito Grande, along with a cold chocolate milkshake. Okay, the word cold there, look, we're looking at the senses. While I was waiting for my food to come, I grew even more hungry, and the more I saw food going out of the kitchen. Okay, what can you see? There's your sense of sight. My stomach started to grumble. There you got the sounds, and make some interesting sounds. Again, more sounds. So those are 3 senses already, not to even mention the ones that were evident in the first paragraph. Third paragraph. Finally, the food arrived. The portion was huge. Again, what you can see. I told myself, seeing as I was hungry, I could finish it because the sauce, the eggs, the bacon, chicken chorizo, and the avocados never tasted better wrapped in a huge, warm tortilla. Okay, so again, you have warm, huge, wrapped. All of those things describe what it might look like. Halfway through eating it, I felt full, but I didn't force myself, otherwise I would vomit. I took a big gulp of my cold milkshake. Again, the word cold, topped with a glossy cherry. Again, the word glossy, you can actually see the cherry and the color of cherries as well. I took my first sip and the shake was so cold it was like it was brought out from a minus 20 degrees freezer. It was so cold that it even gave me brain freeze. Again, you're feeling these things, you can imagine them. I decided to eat the cherry, but the cherry tasted like the medicine that everybody knows and hates. Again, you've got taste and nostalgia there. I can certainly say that even though my meal was delicious, the cherry did not put the cherry on the cake. Okay, so that's just a little play with words at the end. So this is essentially what I'm asking for you to do. Okay, so you need to make sure that you're including the 5 senses and that you're describing your experience at your favorite restaurant. Before you start, you need to take there are three steps to this activity. Okay, the first thing you need to do is create your word bank. So what kind of things you might be able to touch in your restaurant? What can you taste? What things can you smell? What can you hear? And what can you see? You need to create this word bank first. This must be included. Step two is you need to just make a quick plan. Okay, so if you're going to go at McDonald's, positive experience, the tone is good, love the seating, prefer to get takeaway, whatever else you need to write down about what you're going to mention. And finally, then you need to start writing. You need to type this up and make sure that it goes into your assignments folder on your Google Drive, and make sure that you have included all of the 5 senses and that you are aware that it is going to be graded. You have until the 3rd of June to get this complete, and your paragraph must be submitted on Google Classroom and uploaded onto your Drive. So there will be a Task 2 option here on Google Classroom, and you will also have, obviously, the opportunity to upload it onto your assignments folder in Google Drive. Okay, that must happen.